You probably don't know a lot about us. We've been around for a long time. Our legacy spans many generations, starting with humble roots, hard work, and we're proud of that. The Remenyi musical tradition begins with Edward Remenyi, an internationally known concert violinist who was sonata partner of Johannes Brahms, court violinist to Queen Victoria, and intimate friend of Franz Liszt back in the mid-1800s. While touring the world, Edward happens to perform at Toronto's Town Hall on November 3, 1892, the day the Toronto Star publishes its first issue, thus becoming the paper's first ever music review. Inspired by Edward's notoriety, a young grandnephew, Mihai Remenyi, dedicates himself to the craft of violin making. Soon his skills are recognized locally, then across Europe, earning gold, silver, and bronze medals at exhibitions and fairs in London, Paris, and Milan. By the start of the First World War, the Remenyi firm expands into all areas of the retail music trade, in two large buildings at the center of Budapest. Remenyi is appointed supplier of instruments to the royal court. Shortly thereafter, times begin to get tougher. The Treaty of Versailles reduces Hungary to a third of its former size. Economic and political chaos ensues. But eventually, slowly, culture and arts once again flourish, and so too does the Remenyi firm. Under the leadership of Mihai's two sons Laszlo and Zoltán, the firm reaches new heights. Laszlo is the country's foremost violin maker and restorer. His expertise connect him with the foremost violin shops of Europe. The Remenyis collaborate with Zoltán Kodály and Béla Bartók in developing rhythm instruments for their early music education system. Things seem good, but like so many other businesses of the time, troubles from abroad again threaten our survival. The Second World War forces us into situations we never thought we'd see. Our premises and most of our inventory get destroyed, including the priceless Remenyi collection of rare string instruments. However, the need for music and culture stays alive, even in the worst of times, and that was our silver lining in those difficult days. At the end of the war, Hungary becomes isolated behind the Iron Curtain, and the resultant communist regime liquidates all private enterprises. When our turn comes, armed government agents seize everything: our business, our buildings, our stock, even much of our personal possessions. Everything is confiscated. Everything is gone. Zoltán Remenyi, with his wife and young son, escaped to Canada in 1959 and opened up a tiny music shop in Toronto on Queen Street. This is a different Toronto. It is a different world where musical culture is just beginning to blossom. We work hard as the little store serves the waves of new immigrant families starting life in Toronto. And then, the rock and roll era dawns. The Beatles hit Toronto. We become a local hangout for downtown baby boomers. We expand into pianos, and Zoltán continues to be active in the world of fine violins. Canada gave us unparalleled opportunity, and we couldn't afford to disappoint. Zoltán's son Michael joins us in 1969, and we put him to work immediately, tasking him with renovating a nearby building to create a new type of music store, one geared for families and music lovers of all ages. Showrooms, a recital hall, hundreds of instruments on separate floors. There was nothing like it in all of Toronto. You could say that the rest is history and leave it at that, but change and evolution is constant. We've seen the suburbanization. We've seen stadiums, concert halls, and landmark attractions go up. We've seen downtown become downtown, uptown become uptown, the west and the east become a string of characterized neighborhoods. As we've grown up, so too have our children. And most recently, Michael Remenyi Jr., the fourth generation, joined the company. But for all that's changed, both in Toronto and with Remenyi, we're very much the same. We still provide Canada with a collection of unique, high-quality violins, pianos, guitars, and more. We're still supporters of the arts, curators of culture, and connoisseurs of quality. We're still advocates of music and sponsors of education. Despite multiple wars, depressions, recessions, and moving halfway around the world, we're still here, and we're here for one reason only: you.